welcome back to my kitchen. My name is Mindy Banks. I'm the Flip Flop Chef. Today I want to show you how to make a hot chocolate mix that you can give as gifts, whether it be at Christmas or any time of the year. So I'm going to show you how to make the mix, and then I'll show you how to actually make the hot chocolate after that. So let's go ahead and get started. First of all, you're going to need a really big bowl. So this is an 8-quart mixing bowl. If you have Pampered Chef stainless mixing bowl set, this is a retired product that was sold separately from the set, so I don't want you to get out your 6-quart bowl and think that you can mix all of this in that bowl. So this is an 8-quart. If you happen to have this, that's great. If not, just make sure you have a bigger bowl that will hold about 8 quarts. So we're gonna fill this up a good bit. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna just start dumping all of the dry ingredients in here, and then I'll show you how to package them really cute, and then how to make the hot chocolate. So let's go ahead and start off with our Ovaltine. So we're gonna use a can of Ovaltine. This is a 1.12 pound container of Ovaltine. Pour that in there, and then I'm going to add a whole container of the hot chocolate mix. This is a 27.7 ounce container. Pour this kind of slowly. You can see you're getting all this powder dust. I get to inhale that, and it tastes like I'm eating hot chocolate before I'm even ready. We're going to add also 1 container of, this is coffee creamer, so this is a powder, 16 ounces. And I'm actually gonna stop at this point and I'm gonna whisk this together a little bit. So I'm gonna take my stainless steel whisk, and I'm just gonna whisk this together. And then we're gonna add powdered sugar and some dry milk powder. So this is a really easy recipe. It also makes a huge amount of hot chocolate. So if you're not gonna be gifting a lot of this, you might want to cut the recipe in half, maybe even into 4ths. So I'm just mixing this until I see that the coffee creamer is incorporated well. And then I'm going to add our dry milk powder and a bag of powdered sugar. So this recipe calls for 2 pounds of dried milk. I have a tiny bit left in this bag, so just for the sake of using it all, I'm going to pour this in. So just a little bit left from that bag. And then let me cut these open. And if you happen to find that the Ovaltine container or the hot chocolate container are not exactly the right measurements, don't worry. The ones that I'm using today are actually a little bit off. So like my recipe calls for 12 ounces of Ovaltine and 32 ounces of hot chocolate. And the hot chocolate container I have has less than I need, and the Ovaltine has a little bit more than I need. So they sort of balance each other out. So don't stress too much if you can't find the exact sizes, because it's still gonna taste good. Okay, and my bowl is getting super full. So this is why I wanted to make sure that you guys understand you need a really, really big bowl. All right, so let me mix this, and then we're gonna have our powdered sugar. And you kind of have to be careful in your mixing the more full this bowl gets, because then you're going to make a mess if you're not careful. So I'm just whisking this in, because you do want to kind of get this really incorporated so that all of the ingredients go to the bottom. So I'm just sort of whisking down to the bottom of the bowl. Now let's add our powdered sugar. And this is a 32 ounce bag. So it's not hard to make, makes a ton. So if you're making this for the holidays, this is a great, great gift. All right, so this is when I have to be super careful, right? So I'm just sort of tamping, I don't know if you guys can see, just sort of tamp to get this all mixed in. And then I'm going to take a scraper and sort of fold it a little bit after this. And I'm just kind of going all the way down to the bottom. And it's impossible to not make a little bit of a mess of this on the counter. A friend of mine shared this recipe with me years ago, and it's really the only hot chocolate I like to make. All right, get all this out of my whisk. And I'm gonna use my scraper for just a minute. So Just sort of pulling from the bottom. See how we're getting some of that darker chocolate now? Just want to mix this together as best that I can. Same thing on that side. I'm just sort of pulling up the hot chocolate. Okay, I'm going to whisk it just a little bit more, and then I'm going to show you how I like to gift this. I like to use Pampered Chef's Make and Take Mason jar. All right, so while I'm finishing this, if you are new to my channel, I hope that you will go to theflipflopchef.com, sign up for my recipe community. You can access my YouTube videos there, Pinterest, all of my social channels, and I have thousands of recipes in my recipe community, and I give away a prize every single Friday. You can find that at theflipflopchef.com. All right, so what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna take our Make and Take Mason jar. If you've never seen this before, I love these because they're great for storing things in the pantry or in the refrigerator, but this bowl weighs a ton. Okay, so if you've never seen our Make and Take Mason jar, it is a shatterproof mason jar, so it's not glass, and there are two lids. So hopefully you can see these two pieces come apart. This little lid is used for salad dressings or salad toppings, things that you don't necessarily want inside of your jar. So what you can do for this is you can take some marshmallows, since we're going to use this for our hot chocolate, and you can put a few marshmallows, handful of marshmallows in there. Oops, right lid here. Screw this on the top, and then take a measuring cup and just scoop out some of this mix, and then you're going to just gently pour it. Hang on a second, I know what I'm going to do. All right, let's see if this will help me save some of the spillage. Rather than it going on the counter, it'll go in the bowl, and I can pour it back in. All right, so pouring in our hot chocolate mix. And now that I've got a little bit of that out, whoops, you guys can see all this powder. I can mix it a little bit more too. Get this nice and mixed in. You can see I'm making a big mess, so that's why I put it in this bowl. Some of you probably can do this without making a big of a mess, but I don't mind cleaning it up. Okay, and then you can just shake this a little bit to get that even more incorporated. I'm going to toss this back in here. All right, I have sugar and powder all over me. All right, so let me clean up my area just a little bit, and I'm going to show you how you can actually make this. But if you wanted to put a ribbon around here with a tag, then you certainly could do that. I'm going to slide all of this over, clean off my counter because I made a really big mess, and I'll bring my burner over here, and I'll show you guys how to make this using our cast iron milk pan. Okay. So you get a couple recipes in one video. I'm going to show you how to make whipped cream with our Flex Plus. So if you haven't seen that before, you're going to love that. Okay, so plug in my burner. And I'm going to grab a measuring cup that I forgot to get. Okay, so for this, to make your hot chocolate, you're going to start with a cup of water. I'm using our Easy Read measuring cup. Pour this into our cast iron milk pan. I'm going to pop this on top, put this on high, and let me set this here. I don't want to get that wet since I'm going to put it inside of our dry mix in just a second. We're going to let this heat up, and while we're waiting on the water, we're going to make our whipped cream. using the Flex Plus. If you're not familiar with the Flex Plus, I have a video, several videos on my channel, one showing you all the different pieces to the Flex Plus. This particular one is the immersion blender. And this has 3 appliances in one. All of them are cordless appliances. So the immersion blender, food processor, and hand mixer. This is the immersion blender container. It comes with a nice lid. So if you wanted to store the whipped cream that we're gonna make here in just a second, you could easily do that in this container. I love that I can just measure right on the side. So I'm gonna put 1 cup of heavy cream in here. So 1 cup of heavy cream. I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of powdered sugar. And you need a teaspoon of vanilla extract, or if you're using Pampered Chef's double strength vanilla, you can use half of a teaspoon. And depending on when you're watching this video, you may or may not be able to purchase our double strength vanilla extract. It's a seasonal item, but hopefully you have some, or you're able to purchase it at the time of watching this video. All right, so for our immersion blender, I added the power stick. I'm gonna add our blender, or excuse me, our battery. And there's a little safety switch on the back here that you have to press. So you can see here, I press this and it lights up the immersion blender, and I can turn the speed up. I'm gonna go ahead and lower my temperature here because this heats up super fast because it's an induction cooktop. So we're gonna go ahead and make our whipped cream real quick. Okay, so you can see we have nice, thick whipped cream. And we'll take the battery and the power stick off. Let's see if I can get some of this off here. I'm going to show you guys this. This is the spoon and fork set. It actually comes with your make and take mason jar. I don't want to waste this. I'm just going to use the spoon to kind of scrape inside of this. And don't ever do this with the power handle and the battery attached to it. Make sure that you disconnect that first. Okay, so we have our whipped cream, and what I'm gonna do, so our milk, our water came to a boil. You can use milk for this, you just don't wanna bring it to a boil. So water is safer in the fact that you don't have to worry about scorching your milk. So we're gonna take a 1/4 cup of our hot chocolate mix. I'm just reaching over here to my big bowl. So a 1/4 cup, add that into the water. I'm gonna take my mini whipper, give you guys a little closer look here, and just whisk this together. You wanna make sure that it's dissolved. And you don't need boiling water to make hot chocolate. It could just get warm, because you don't want it so hot that it burns you. But when you're using water instead of milk, it's easy to just bring it to a boil. And if you're wanting to leave this on the stove top, then you can make a big pot and then put it on warm. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a mug and we're gonna build our hot chocolate. So my milk pan handle is not too hot to hold, so I'm just gonna pour my hot chocolate in my mug. And the cast iron milk pan is also a limited time item from Pampered Chef. So we're gonna put some whipped cream in there. And if you like marshmallows, then you wanna add your marshmallows. So we'll add some of those on the top here. And then, just because we can, let's add some dark chocolate syrup on the top. I should turn these upside down. Dark chocolate syrup first, and then we'll do some white chocolate. And this is Torani syrup. You can get it at Publix, and you can also get it on at Walmart and on Amazon. So there you have it. So Now you know how to make your hot chocolate mix so that you can make these really cute gifts using our make and take mason jar. And you know how to use the milk pan so that you can make yourself a really nice cup of hot chocolate. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to go to theflipflopchef.com, sign up for my recipe community and my emails, and be sure to follow my other videos. Subscribe to my channel while you're here, and I look forward to the opportunity to being your consultant. As a consultant with Pampered Chef, I do earn commission on the products that I sell. So if you saw anything in this video that you'd like, I would love the opportunity to help you with your order, and you can click the shop button from any of the platforms that you might be watching from. So I will see you next time. Thank you.